Hello everyone. So this is a video I should have made a lot earlier, but better late than never. So we need to talk about Exoprimal, Capcom's PvPvE horde shooter from 2023. This game, in my opinion, was extremely overhated, and I really never understood why. Me and my friends had a lot of fun on this game, and actually, this game is one of the most fun and unique multiplayer experiences I've had in literally years. And I thought about talking about this game back when it was still new, because I felt this way even back then, but the hate around this game was so fucking heavy at the time that I literally figured a positive video about Exoprimal would do poorly just for that reason alone. The hate for this game was through the roof, genuinely unwarranted, in my opinion, and I'm so confused why it felt like people wanted to hate this game. I know people like to say, oh, well, it should have been Dino Crisis. Shut the fuck up. Capcom makes another game with dinosaurs, and suddenly everyone's magically a Dino Crisis fan. Yeah, fat chance of that. Nothing against Dino Crisis either. I just know damn well some of you people screaming that it should have been Dino Crisis are not Dino Crisis fans. That franchise is ancient. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Exoprimal is completely and utterly dead. No players, no planned DLC, nothing. And if things went differently, things I'll mention in a minute, I could have genuinely seen Exoprimal lasting for at least a handful of years. It has a 67 critic score and a 5.3 user score on Metacritic. It was not received well at all, but I'm going to tell you what I think was good about the game. So, to start, the game is extremely unique. There really hasn't been anything like it, and in a sea of nothing but battle royales and extraction shooters, this game was a huge breath of fresh air. One of the complaints I heard often was, the gameplay loop gets boring fast. Well, the game changes the more you play it. Let me explain. In the simplest of terms, the game you play in the beginning is completely different to the game you play toward the end. And yes, you can beat Exoprimal. You can obviously still play matches, but the game does have an ending. In the start of Exoprimal, you only have a handful of dinosaur types and objectives to play with. So for a little while, you may only have like raptors and a triceratops or something like that. As you put more hours into the game, you get many more dinosaur types to go up against, along with a lot more objectives that mix things up. So if you just put in enough hours, the game becomes extremely varied and just a blast to play. This mechanic, which to my knowledge hasn't been in any other game, explains why everyone claimed the game was boring as fuck, because they didn't put in enough time to unlock the new dinosaur types and objective types. And to be fair, it isn't all that obvious that this is how the game works in the beginning, but people didn't give the game enough of a chance to experience the other content the game had to offer. It just felt like people were determined to hate the game before even giving it a proper chance. But I'm in no way saying the game was perfect. The game definitely had issues, which I'll get into now. The number one biggest problem with Exoprimal, in my opinion, was not the gameplay loop, not the concept, it was the monetization. So Exoprimal was actually a full price game, $60, and also had a paid battle pass and microtransactions. This monetization model was a terrible idea, especially since the general opinion of the game was not in their favor from the beginning. If we're being real, this game should have been free to play. I think that would have helped the game a lot, short term and long term. And actually, I swore that when the player numbers started dropping that they would make it free to play, but that just never happened. So the more time passed, the less time they had to save the game's player base, and ultimately they never did. But getting back to why the game isn't complete trash, given you got far enough into the game to unlock most, if not all, the objectives and dino types, the game had a lot of variety. There was data security key, where you had to escort a cube to the end of the map, while dinos and players try to stop you alike. They had Omega Charge, which was where one player on each team gets a hammer that they have to charge by getting dino kills, and once the hammer was charged, you use it to destroy an objective to progress. Initially, this is just a PvE game mode, but the last Omega Charge objective is shared between both teams, and you fight over the hammer and try to destroy the objective before the enemy team. Very fun. They had Energy Taker, which is where capsules of energy are scattered around the map, and you had to collect more than the enemy team, but killing the enemy team made them drop their capsules so you can steal them. These are just a handful of game modes. There's many more, and some of them are pretty unique. Not the most original thing ever, but unique and varied enough that they were fun for a long time. There were also quite a few bosses that got stronger variants the more you play, and the bosses were actually a lot of fun too. They broke up the horde mode stuff really well. Something me and my friends loved about this game is that it wasn't too serious or competitive. It was a pretty casual team-on-team shooter, which we very rarely get anymore, unless it's a hero shooter, I guess. It could be argued that Exoprimal was a hero shooter, I guess, but yeah. It was nice to not have to sweat your ass off playing a multiplayer game for once. I mean, battle royales and shit require so much focus because obviously you die, you're done, you're out permanently. Maybe it's just me, but that's a sweaty ass multiplayer experience. And I'm not even saying sweaty competitive games are a bad thing. It's just nice to play a game that isn't like that sometimes. I simply don't want to have 200% focus on a multiplayer game at all times sometimes. And it feels like not many games nowadays offer that anymore. But yeah, I'll leave it there. I just wanted to talk about this utter injustice that this game suffered, because it was genuinely depressing to see a game I had a lot of fun with die so quickly. Sucks, dude. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.